you. Are you getting enough out of all of your Pilates exercises, the stretches, the strengthening exercises you're doing? What we're going to look at today is just showing you how you can tweak some of the exercises to change the emphasis on things that you're doing. Mainly sort of stretching and mobility for today, but again, just ways to enhance your overall experience. As always, if you want to hit the subscribe button, that would be tremendous. You can always find out when new videos have been posted. Give us a thumbs up. Let's get you cracking. Welcome everybody to episode 7. Let's get you cracking. What I wanted to do today was just to show you how to tweak some of the exercises that you might be doing already. Starting us off with one of my particular favorites, that being a child's pose stretch. Now there are different variations on this, but I quite like having you with the feet and knees at hip distance apart, sitting you carefully back, hands reaching out towards the far wall, and just holding you there and trying to sink down towards the ground. Now that's a really lovely stretch on its own, but as if by magic, a ball has appeared behind me here and we can use something. Now again, I'm using a ball here, but it might be that you want to use something else. Like if you haven't got a ball around, you could use a chair or the side of your bed, anything that's got a bit of height to it, to be able to give you a bit more room to maneuver. So you want to try and sit back onto your heels, hands out in front of you. You want to make sure you leave enough room for your head to be able to sink down. You're going to get a lot further down in through the shoulders here. All right, so what we're going to look for is, again, it's going to be a minute of this one. So we're going to start you off, hands on top of the ball or the chair or bed or whatever it is you're using. Try and just keep those arms nice and straight, and let's sink down into that. And it's big, deep breaths in that position. Just try and relax into it that a little bit more. And just let that all relax off. So it's going to stretch out right down the side here. So right down your side into your latissimus dorsi here, your lats, that they, if they get stiff, they can stop your overhead positioning being as good as it can be. It's going to stretch out across the front of the shoulders there, across the back. You can move around a little bit as well and add a few different tweaks into it. Find you might be a bit stiffer on one side than the other. That's what the ball's quite nice here for, is being able to roll from side to side. But mainly, we just want to try and sink carefully down into it. And big, deep breaths. And every exhale, we want to try and just sink down that little bit further. All right. That's our first minute done. So you've done a minute of that one. Now, an exercise that I do quite a lot in classes here that I sort of pair together with the child's pose is coming up into a down dog stretch. All right, and that's quite a nice way to really stretch out everything down the back half of the body. So not only at the top, but also down into your lower back and into the calves and into the hamstrings. Again, I'll show you a way to extend that a little bit more. We're going to go for a minute now of pedaling through your feet. So you bend at one knee so you can ease the other heel down towards the floor at the same time. We really want to try and lean back into those shoulders and just gently relax through the one leg and press through the other heel at the same time. And what that does is that just gives you that extra bit of extension, can stretch out through, right down through that calf, easing that heel down. Again, we're not forcing it, we're not trying to bounce or anything like that. We're just going to go nice and carefully and big deep breaths. All right, so just taking it nice and steadily. So it's quite a good upper body strength exercise as well here, because if you're staying in this position for 1 minute, it can be quite challenging. I mean, if you want to break it up a little bit and do it in sort of 2 blocks of 30 seconds or 4 blocks of 15, then you could do 30 blocks of 1 second, or if you want to, it's up to you. That doesn't make any sense though, because that'd be 30 seconds. I know what I'm on about. Let's just go for a minute of it. Whichever way you want to break it up, that's absolutely fine. My maths GCSE probably wasn't the best. Anyway, after doing that, what I then want to look at is around the hip, through your bottom, and up into that leg. So we're going to bring a foot forwards, all right? We don't want to be too close together with the knees here, so we want to bring the back knee back a little bit, and we want to have the hands on the inside edge of that front leg. We're trying to keep the knee out towards the side there, and all I want to try and do is keep the back straight and just bend at the elbows to try and just sink down towards the floor just a little bit. This is going to really work on inner thigh, so our adductors through bottom, up into the back there, around that hip. Now I'm going to do this 1 minute each side. So again, 1 minute here. Now, like I say, this is a nice one to really help loosen everything off in those areas if you get particularly stiff. And again, it is just deep breathing whilst you're in that. But if you wanted to change the emphasis on that as well, try turning the foot out a little bit and doing the same thing. Ooh, now all of a sudden we have something. That's an interesting topic of discussion. Changes position a little bit, makes it a little bit more entertaining in different ways, but you can also maneuver yourself around as well. You could even turn out to the side a little bit. You can maneuver around towards that knee as it's turned out, maybe turn over the top of the foot. Basically, I wanted to try and hunt around a little bit and see where you feel a bit tight and just try and find somewhere that does feel a bit stiff. If you want to keep the foot straight and do the same thing, come out to the side there, or you could come over and try and bring tummy button down towards the toes, you know, that kind of thing. Anywhere around there that feels a bit tight, let's maneuver around. You don't have to stay in one spot, all right? So we've done the minute on that side. And then let's swap that over, okay? So same thing again, back knee comes back, so you're getting a good stretch of the hip flexors and everything down that back leg. And then again, it's hands on the inside edge of that front foot. We bend at the elbows there and we sink into it just a little bit to get that stretch. Now again, for me, I know that when I turn the foot out and I walk away from it a little bit, that really does light up my world. That really does just sort of, you know, give me a big smile to put on my face. So I'm going to stay in that position for a moment. But again, you may feel like, hey, you know what, actually, with my foot straight and trying to turn in towards the foot there, that's going to really give me something as well. Try turning your upper body in towards the knee. You know, you could try and bring the chest in towards the knee there. Like I say, just play around with it. Or if you want to sort of rotate through each one, you know, you could come down into the middle. You could walk out to the side, find the stretch. Maneuver around a little bit. You don't always have to be static in stretches. You can move around a little bit. I don't tend to do too much of this in a class situation. We tend to sort of just stay in one spot and then move into another one. But with this particular sort of thing, you can just play around a little bit. Okay. So have a little bit of a play around with those, because those are really, really good. Just little introductions into how to adapt exercises and change them a little bit. So have a bit of a play. Enjoy it, let me know, hear your feedback and everything. Look forward to seeing you the next time.